Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda, the Minish Cap. I love this song so much. In the last part, we got here to the Cloud Tops, which has my absolute favorite song in the game. And now we're going to continue on and see what we can do throughout here. Now the basic goal, as you might have seen, is that little cloud with a golden Kinstone on it. There are five of those little clouds of Kinstones hidden around the entire area. Because this place has 2 floors to it, by the way. And you have to find the match to those Kinstones hidden throughout the clouds, and it's actually a rather linear area. Though you might want to be careful because hidden throughout the clouds there are actually Kinstone pieces. Not the golden ones, thankfully, but they are there nonetheless. Anyway, the first one's here. Also, one little thing I didn't notice until this playthrough actually is that because fusing the Kinstones activates those little pinwheels. The location of the pinwheel around that little bunch of clouds down there is actually related to its geographical location on the lower floor. Because I think you find all the golden Kinstone pieces that you have to fuse up here on the second tier, and the first tier is where all the places you need to fuse them are. That's if I remember correctly. No, actually, nope, never mind, I just remembered a couple. Because the one we're about to get. Never mind, I'm stupid. And for beating those Cloud Piranhas, which by the way, the Cloud Piranhas are probably one of my least favorite enemies in the game, we get our second gold Kinstone out of 5. This is like one of the last areas we actually use our mole mitts too, because I'm trying to remember, I can only remember maybe 1 or 2 other places in the game where I'm going to be using those things. Anyway, gold Kinstone number 3 is right here. Hidden green Kinstone right there. And we got chests here that have various things in them, namely mysterious shells and I think rupees, or maybe a Kinstone piece. No, just shells actually. Also, one little weird thing that's different about these whirlwinds is that your speed is actually increased up here when you're floating. Which, mind you, in this place makes sense because jet stream and all. And here we actually got Lakitus, or no, rather Lakitus, sorry, from the Mario series. To defeat them, you either have to hit them with your boomerang to stun them if you have the boomerang, or use your gust jar to suck the cloud they're on into. And the red whirlwinds are pretty much just your way of getting up to the second tier. It's really weird, too, because I'm still wondering how the heck we're able to stand on clouds, because they're just made of air and water, especially how the ones that are blue, that are pretty much the walls, are solid as rock. I mean, sure, it's a fantasy game, I know it's a Zelda game, but that still makes no sense. Of course, that again, that's me bringing logic into a Nintendo game, which is never a good idea. Actually, Cloud Piranha type enemies are ones that I've always found kind of annoying in Zelda games. Kind of like the Stingrays, they're not great enough time. I can't remember if there's anything like them in Majora's Mask. I don't think there is. No, there's not actually. And if I recall correctly, there was one type like them in Skyward Sword that was annoying as hell. And especially annoying in Monster Hunter. Anyway, up here we got Golden Kinstone number 4? Yeah, number 4. And there's a hidden, I believe, blue Kinstone piece in that one right there. It's kind of weird, too, because for a sky area you'd think it'd be all non-linear and such, but in reality it's actually rather linear. I'm not talking like most linear area in the game, but I'm talking really linear either way. Because when I think of Skyworld type places. I obviously think of Skyworld from Skyward Sword, but I think of stuff like the final dungeon that's not the final dungeon from Twilight Princess, and actually, yeah, that's about it. Well, there's probably a couple others I just can't remember at this exact time that I played. Oh wait, that one place in Artsanelica 1. Oh, screw that one place. I can't remember many of the area names from Artsanelica, if you can't tell. I still need to find the second one. Sorry, I got entranced into the music there. And you know what I'm thinking about it now? It's kind of fitting that my favorite track in the game would probably be the most epic sounding, because when you think about it, this is technically the last area in the game that we've never been to before. Because, as I'll show off once we end off this area rather soon, since we entered the cloud tops, the map screen is now actually completely filled in terms of the areas you've been to. Anyway, this is probably the only section that tends to stump me at times, because I always forget which direction I need to go. We need to end up in that hole on the very right of the screen right there. Because we've actually fused with all 4 of the Kinstone things that aren't the one that's right next to the entrance. So we need to go over there. And we're there. Also, what the hell just happened? Well, actually, I do know what happened. It's because I fell in the middle of the pit, because that actually dictates where you're gonna fall on the actual screen. But now let's use it this final one. And with that, I think that's actually the last Golden Kinstone fusion in the game. I believe it is. It should be. If my memory saves correctly. And another giant whirlwind, okay. So let's go up here and see what we can find. And actually the final wind crest. But before we do anything up here, first off, yeah, that's the completed map. Nice and filled. Village. Anyway, but before we go up any further, let's fly actually back to Vale Falls, because there is actually a piece of art that we can get here. If you remember correctly, last part, towards the end, I did a red Kinstone fusion, which opened up this waterfall right here. In here, we got a piece of art number 36. 8 left in the game, actually, and you might notice that only makes 2 heart containers. Now, how do you build something like this on top of a cloud? Maybe someone lives inside. If so, perhaps we could ask for the element. It's worth a shot, Link. Whatever, Green Man. That a certain YouTuber calls Elmo. And this place kind of looks familiar, doesn't it? Wanna know why? That's right. That place we went to in, like, what, part 6 or so? Is actually from the final areas of the game. I like how they do that. Nice little foreshadowing. And if you also remember, we actually helped a guy out here earlier on in the game. This old man right here, but first Kinstone fusion, because I liked doing these. I've always loved the sound effects that happen during these for some reason. And that's likely just a treasure chest. Yeah, I forget what that has. I'm actually not going to be getting everything that I fuse for, just the big things. But anyway, for helping this guy earlier on in the game, we get the light arrows. So pretty much now our arrows are not only look cooler, but they're also more powerful. And to get the light arrow effect, you need to actually hold them in for a second. But don't worry, the damage it makes is more than worth it. And now the rest of this place, which is very hotel-like, is pretty much just filled with treasure chests and one mandatory plot dump. Also, if I'm correct, actually, all the people, in this freaking hotel thing are actually named after sky phenomenon. Like, that one was called Flurries, or Flurris, obviously a pun off flurries, like, snow flurries. And, well, it's always some kind of pun, I know that for a fact. I can't name them all, like the chief of this place, as we'll find out soon, is called Sirach, which I think is a pun off Cirrus clouds. Or maybe it's a reference to Metroid Fusion, I can't tell. Anyway, here he, she, I don't know which gender you are, is. I'm going to assume you're a guy and give you a Kinstone Fusion, okay. And I'm probably gonna... that's actually a good voice for you. Oh, I know perfectly, son. And this Kinstone Fusion makes chest appear in the top left of Royal Valley. Welcome, welcome. Not long ago, and then an age before that. Our tribe abandoned the place you call the Wind Ruins. With our magic, we moved our palace up into the skies. We are the Wind Tribe. We have been watching, and we know all that has happened on your surface world. We know a small boy collects elements to lift the curse from a princess. We know Avachi and his evil acts. The winds tell us these things. The wind element that you seek lies deep within the palace of winds above me. When the blade has been infused with the four elements, the way to the light force shall be open. So it is told in the legends of the Wind Tribe. Vati himself may already know this. Surface dwellers are not permitted to enter our palace, but you are special. You may continue to the roof. Why, thank you. And also, her saying that, I just remember, we haven't seen Vati since, like, what, episode 8? It's been a while, hasn't it? Huh. I'm sure that'll all change very soon. Anyway, we get Sanctuary music here, which I find kind of odd. And a vortex that leads to the final main dungeon of the game, the Palace of Winds. What an irritation. We find our way to the very tops of the clouds. And now we have to go even higher to find a floating palace? I can't believe what a long way we've come. And look how high we are. Don't look down, Link, and watch your step. It's a long fall from here. Indeedly, sir, Elmo. But with that, I'm gonna need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And next time on Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Minish Cap, we are going to be proceeding through the Palace of Winds, not doing it in one part, because like the Palace, Temple of Droplets, this place is rather long, and seeing what we can do throughout it. See you guys then.